Villa sent his henchmen with murder on their mind. Their orders was to do their job and leave no one alive. Then one man made his move. And he changed the course of those people's history. Did what he had to do. He could have tried to flee. He didn't try to run. Paco fired his gun. Paco fired that old gun. Well, you know he could have turned and run, but he wouldn't leave his friends. Paco stood and fired his gun. Today when they sing the stories, this one they tell, Paco fired and the bad man fell. Paco, we sing the song of Paco the man. He did not run. Paco stood up for his friends and fired his gun. Oh, he could have turned and run, but Paco would not leave his friends and fired his gun. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, you'll see in the coming story. I'm doing a story with about a very interesting piece of history. Anyway, let's just get on with it, okay? Before we get started on whatever we're doing, I'd like to remind you that please hit the like button and the subscription button. It doesn't cost you anything. It only takes a minute, and it helps me greatly, okay? So if you could do that, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, folks, this is Alligator in Alignment. I'm here in Luna, New Mexico, with my friend Pete Scardina and my new friend Alice. I have heard so much about Alice from Pete that even before I meet her, she's my friend. She has a very interesting history, which all of you will really appreciate. You remember the Mexican Revolution with Poncho Villa and his this is his whole thing. But first, I met Pete Scardina through a mutual friend of ours named Eddie Albert. They're both hunters, and after meeting Pete, Eddie Albert told me, he says, Alligator, I had no idea when I introduced you to Pete Scardina that you guys were so much alike. He says, Pete got stories after stories after stories, and you're the same way. You got stories after stories. I said, well, when we both get together, then we'll probably drive people out of the room with stories. But anyway, Alice, tell me something about where you were originally from and where you grew up at.
Well, actually, I'm from Alma, New Mexico. You know where Alma is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But when my parents, they ran my dad, he bought a ranch in Mexico, and they told him that he had to become a Mexican citizen before he could own that ranch, and he didn't want to have a Mexican citizen, because he also had property on in Texas from his dad, my grandpa. But he didn't really listen to him. At the time, it was time for him to get out of Mexico, so they come after him. And he only had time to grab the keys to his old jalopy pickup he had, and he said, told his wife, my grandma, my mom, that he should just get out. This guy told him, just get out as fast as you can, because they don't care. And so he got in his truck and come out, but he told my mom to get in the wagon, and a wagon, and we had my dad had a guy that was working for him. His name was Pablo, but we called him Papo. And that happened, and so they were about to shoot my dad, because he wasn't listening to what they were telling him. And so what happened is Papo had his gun, because he knew how they were. They were after my dad. And when Pablo, Pablo, his name was Pablo, actually he's the one that shot one of the guys that were about to kill my dad. My dad got out the keys and everything. They didn't care, they just wanted him out, because they gave him enough time to get out, but he thought they were just messing around with him. But other than that, they traveled, and this was in January, and I was born in January, so I know I wasn't born, in Mexico. But my mom got us all birth certificate, for Mexico, and so that worked out okay. But when we reached New Mexico, that's where she had me and Alma, and that was where he found a job there for a few. But then my dad had to leave and get a job. He come into Texas in El Paso. I don't know if you know where El Paso is.
Oh, of course, I've lived there.
Did you? Oh, good. Yeah. My kids are probably I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't even know where I was at. He went into, after he hit the United States, because they taken everything he owned, and because he would not become a Mexican citizen. And so they told him they would come after him, but the guy says, once you're in the United States, they can't.
They can't.
Yeah, so he went to Texas to work for a while, and my mom and Papo, which was Pablo, come in, and found a place in Alma. The people were very nice. They helped them and everything. And actually, that's where I'm supposed to have been born. And so I have 2 birth certificates. I have one from Mexico and one from
America.
Because she was afraid that they might take her, and what was she going to do with me? Because so that's why she had to have her sister give her. She called her sister and told her to give her, get me a birth certificate for the baby I just had, and that was me. But after that, my dad got a job at a ranch, here in the United States, which was Alma. And he come back from Texas. He had enough money because my dad's dad, my grandpa Thacker, he owned oil wells in Texas. And so his wife died, and he says, I'm just leaving, dividing everything. I think there was 2 brothers, between the 2 brothers, and that was my dad and another brother, my uncle. And so he said, other than that, and so that's what got him out. And so he got settled in Alma, farming and ranching. Mr. McKean, which was my sister,
Good on, good on.
my sister, she married Mr. McKean's son. And so my dad was farming all the land from Alma, Claire. If I knew the place to tell you, I can't remember the place they called it. They farmed all that farming land in through there. My dad did. He'd also hire, wetbacks to help him with the farm because my brothers were all small.
Yeah.
And so, other than that, he did really good, started everything with the farm, and then we went back, what happened, my dad had a property all in through there. It wasn't his, it was my dad's friend, and they all helped him come in and get everything straightened out, and we got us a home there in Alma, and then from there on we were all raised and born there in Alma, the rest of us,
That is wonderful. The fact that you guys had to leave Mexico on the run.
Yeah.
I think Poncho Villa's people were involved in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one that the immigration ran him and my dad out of Mexico. And they had to warn him that give him so much time, but my dad says, oh, they're not going to do a damn thing so much as they will. And sure enough, they did.
Yeah, they came to kill your father.
Oh, yeah.
And if it wasn't for Papo,
Yeah.
they would have killed your dad.
Yeah.
But he ended up killing one of them. And
Well, Papo did.
Papo did, yeah.
Not my dad.
Yeah.
Because he could see the guy that had his gun to my dad.
Yeah.
And Papo shot him before he pulled the trigger. And then he ran out. Of course, he was a Mexican citizen.
So he had to get out of there.
Yeah.
This is wonderful to hear a historical story that involves Poncho Villa and his rebels.
Yeah.
And they came to kill her father, but Papo defended him and did what he had to do. And you guys made it to America and prospered after that. If Papo had not acted as he did,
Oh, yeah, that'd have been.
Papo lived his life till he died at an older age. How old was he, honey?
Oh, I think he was like close to 80.
And he's buried in the family plot with little brothers,
Yeah.
sisters,
He was-
everybody. The same plot in the top of a hill in Alma.
Yeah. Well, he was more like a dad than my real dad. He was a very sweet man. He helped us all. And what my dad paid him, he would give us money. The money that my dad was paying him, And of course, he was just like family. He was our dad. As far as I'm concerned, he was my dad. But other than that, my dad done very good. He owned 2 homes there in Glenwood, and was very successful about,
Honey, what happened to the property that your dad had?
The one that my brother Jerry, that land,
Yeah,
that was my dad's. And then the house next to that one, that was my dad's. And Charlie got that one. Jerry got the land there, and Charlie got the other land.
the land in Mexico.
Oh, the land in Mexico. What I heard, my dad sold it to somebody there for very little because he needed the money and he needed to get out. Yeah, after what, that's what happened to the land there. And he had, you see, my mom's parents and all, they owned a bar, and that's where my dad met my mom, because my mom and her sisters were cleaning the bar for him, for my mom's
But
family.
your mother, your father's first wife was a Spanish person that she passed away at childbirth, right? The baby did.
Oh yeah.
And then he married
My
her
mom.
sister, her mother.
Her mother. Yeah. And other than that, I used to listen when I was little. I was little, of course. I was a baby. I was born. We come over here in January, and I was born in January 4th. So I know that my dad went to send her in a wagon, in the wintertime. Oh no! And so I do have 2 birth certificates, and of course I went and recorded mine here at the courthouse because I was going to be older, so I wanted to be older, and that's how that worked out. But other than that, it was a pretty. The one that really knows the story is my niece. She knows the whole story about that. But I just went ahead and got me a birth certificate, the one from Mexico, and I'm recorded from Mexico, but I also have one from being born in Alma. So that, I've never done away with the one from Mexico. I just left it in the courthouse, But I do have 2 birth certificates. And it was quite a story, My grandfather had oil land, and that's how he helped my dad a lot. Other than that, I don't think my dad would have ever made it.
Your father was a farmer.
Yeah.
And and Papa worked for him his whole life.
Yeah.
But see, the story with Paco is interesting because that shines a light on the fact that all of this, I'm this, or I'm that, and I'm this race or that race, and you're this or that, has no validity to it when you come to loving someone and caring for someone.
That's true. Yes.
He was Mexican, but he protected your father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And we brought him, my dad brought him, and he was, somebody gave my dad a place to stay there in Alma, but my dad had to find a job, and in the wintertime now, in the summertime, he had probably got a job very easily farming, but in the wintertime, he had to go back to Texas, and they offered him a job in Texas, and I don't really know what he did, but as soon as he got enough money, and he would check on the, it wasn't that far from El Paso to, it's far, but not, like coming from Mexico. But he did good, and my other, I have like, let me see, there's Lupe, Lydia, Tony, George. Yeah, 4 of them. And then the rest of us were all born here in the States. But I consider myself also born there too, because my mom wrote my sisters, and she wanted a birth certificate that I was born in Mexico, because she was afraid they were going to take her and put her back to Mexico. But they didn't do that. All the people were very nice that helped us through what we went through, especially me being a baby in January.
Tell them about your the business when you went to school? Remember you told me you went to school and in the school bus they had a pot-bellied stove in the
Yes.
school bus.
Yeah, when I was, I had to ride the bus from Alma. I mean, you know, Alma's not a place exactly where I lived. It was quite a ways from Alma. You know where Alma is.
Yeah.
And so we had to ride the bus. You know, they picked us up and taken us to Glenwood for
school.
Yeah. And they had a potbelly
Stove
stove in it.
in
And
the
then-
bus.
Yes. And then they also, when we got in the 8th grade, we come to reserve. We started school here in reserve when you hit the 8th grade. And it was cold in Glenwood. You didn't really have to do like that because it was just from Alma to Glenwood. But coming from Alma to to reserve, it was very cold. They had to have some kind of heat in I guess in those days they didn't have heaters.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, you know.
That
I've never asked why.
And tell them about you didn't have power till you were 16 years old.
Yeah. We didn't have power. Reserve here didn't have power. So they brought it into reserve, and it was a year before we got it in Alma.
Yeah, I grew up in exactly the same way. We didn't, when I was coming up, we didn't have running water, we didn't have electricity, we didn't have, the outhouse was it.
Oh yeah, we didn't have everything was out the house, and we didn't have no water.
Yeah.
We had to draw it from the well and bring it in to take a bath. We had a tub.
Yeah, those big
Yes.
tubs, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we had to go way down in the woods to a natural spring for water.
Yes.
And the worst thing was wash day, because us kids had to haul that water all the way from there back and forth, water. And when I used to go to school, the teacher was telling us, she says, yeah, Abraham Lincoln was born in a log cabin. He had no electricity. He didn't have any of the things. And he learned to read by candlelight and all that. And I'm looking at the teacher and I'm going, what the hell are you telling me that for? That's how I'm living right now. I'm still like that.
Yeah, we had a lamp, you know.
Oh, those old
kerosene
hurricane lamps.
Yeah.
With the wick.
wick.
Yeah.
That's the kind. It's a wonder our house wasn't burnt down with us kids, you know, all of us.
Yeah.
And then we had just a wood heater and a wood stove to cook in. And it was so nice when they got power. They brought the power into to Glenwood, Alma too, and
All the cooking, everything was done with a wood
Wood
stove.
stove.
Oh yeah,
And you didn't-
everything.
And you didn't have chainsaws in those days.
oh God, no. We just my dad would go out with an axe, and it was, you know.
Yeah, the type of life that was lived back then, the only way young people would know anything about it is to watch movies
Oh,
and stuff,
yeah.
because it's gone. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
exist anymore.
It's a time gone.
We plowed mules. We did everything by horseback. We plowed mules and
Mm-hmm.
horses in the fields. And when tractors first came into the area, I didn't want to use a tractor.
Yeah.
I said, you're plowing your field with your horse or your mule, and if they have to take a dump or something, it fertilizes the soil.
Oh, I
I said,
know.
but the tractor, he's got smoke going up in the air and
Yeah.
oil on the ground.
Oh, that's
you know.
what I drove all. My dad used to bale hay.
Hay,
all-
yeah.
And that's what I drove the tractor all the time because I was the littlest one of the whole family. My whole family's big. They're big. Don't ask me how come I was so tiny. But my grandma, my dad's mom, was very little. I have pictures of her.
Was she a redhead, honey?
My grandma, you mean?
Your grandma?
My grandma Thacker, yeah, was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was my dad. My dad was redhead. So, I think my kids are
Okay.
out.
Alligator, I asked her, did you ever go hungry? Did you ever go hungry,
Oh,
hon?
no, because we had a big farm, and in the winter time, in fall, we put up we had an orchard with apples, you name any kind of fruit we had. And we had all kind of food. That's something. The only thing we didn't buy was like coffee, sugar. I mean, because we had to buy coffee, sugar, and flour.
And flour. That,
Because we had
that was it.
We had pigs, and we got like if we needed a crisp now. I mean, it was lard then, but it was really a nice. I mean, I love now. I don't know. I guess I don't remember any of that too much until I got like a teenager.
She told me that her dad on like a Sunday would invite the neighbors. He's
Oh,
a
yes.
hard-working man. Every day, get up every single day and plow and everything. And he'd feed the neighbors. He'd had a big feed, and her mom did all that cooking for the neighbors on a wood
Yeah,
stove.
Sunday was our day to have our big dinner because my dad wouldn't go anyplace. He just says, "No, I'll stay home here with the farm and watch what goes on here." So my mom would feed all the neighbors. Oh, but we had a really good time. Just really.
It's sad that those type of relationships aren't as tight as they used to be. Young people have no idea how it was back in the old days. If your neighbor's barn burnt down, the whole countryside would come and build him a barn.
Yeah.
Now, where are you going to find that at these days?
Yeah. That's
Nowhere.
right.
Nobody's going to do that. Yeah. Things were different. We're gonna end this, but I'm sure some of you have seen my podcast with Pete Scardina. He's was a professional hunter for 40 years or so, and if you go and watch his show also, and I'm gonna be doing more with him later on. So it's wonderful speaking with you, darling. And what I say about your story is, if Paco had not acted as he did, all of your story would have been totally different.
Oh yeah. There's no
Because
telling.
if Poncho Villa sent his guys after your dad,
Dad.
they meant to kill him. So yeah,
He could have made it easy by becoming a citizen and didn't want
but
to.
but he didn't want to yet.
Yeah, no, and it was a good thing he didn't, because too many people were very jealous. My dad had property in Texas, but it wasn't his yet till my grandmother died. I mean, she died, but until my grandpa died, because then it would go to him and his brother.
Tell them about the kids go to school and they bring their guns in the school bus because they had to walk home and they might get a rabbit
Yeah.
or squirrel or something, and they put the guns on the school bus.
I tell people that if I wanted to go hunting, I would go to school, I would take my little 22 rifle with me, and the principal would put it in his closet. And when I got out, he would give it to me, and I would go home through the back way and pop off some animal on my way home. But these days, if of course you can't do that. So we're gonna end this. This is Alligator in Alignment. I'm so happy that you took this time to talk to me.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you come over.
And Pete Scardina was told me so much about her that I told him, I said, well, when I see her, I'm gonna let her know I'm just meeting you, but we are friends.
Yeah, sure. And
So this is Alligator in Alignment saying happy trails. We'll see you next time.